Morning, morning, everybody. Michelle is here on this Wednesday, February the 21st. Yep, Wednesday, February the 21st, 2024. What do you say about that? So, I thought I'd get up because I'm going to do some running around later and put some sounds in your ear. You know what I mean? I'll put my face in your place. How about that? I hope everybody's doing fantastic, magnificently, and marvelous because I am. So I wanted to put some things. I want you to contemplate some things of what I'm about to say, and like the things that I talk about are things to contemplate, cultivate, properly meditate, properly ruminate, but it's all free will. You do what you want. And thankfully, like as I want to keep reminding, there's millions, probably billions of content out there. Billions. And so your sounds and tones are going to resonate with whoever can bring you the best value, okay? That can bring you some elements, concepts that benefit you, right? Whether it's positive or negative, okay, or whether you like it or not, or whether you like me or not, when it becomes about whether you like me or not, I told you do not take anything personally, okay? Take it off the personal and grow up. And I want to say that very clear and effectively to some out there: grow up before it's too late for you to have the opportunity to do so. And I'll explain that along the way, or in certain elements, because we're not children. All right, if you are okay, no children are listening to what I'm talking about at all, and they ought not to be. Okay, so if you are childlike and need someone to hold your hand, and wipe your nose and stuff like that, you're on the wrong channel, honey. There's plenty of content for that. Okay, so consider that. Now, so what I wanted to say is that let me just throw some things out there, for those that are kind of know where I'm flowing, so to speak. But we all are at a certain level of consciousness development, and we're all attempting to understand. And that's the whole idea about anything that anyone says to you. It's about understanding what the hell are they talking about. And if you listen to my videos, which I have a lot on YouTube here, I have been consistent throughout. I started this, we can call it a journey now. I started this journey back in 2022, that significant year of 2022. All right. I suspended my ego, suspended my beliefs, convictions, faith. I just suspended it. Okay. I didn't try to kill my beliefs or kill my faith. The people are so, and I've said it in so many of my videos, we're so extreme. Everything's a threat sometimes to people. It's a threat. You're trying to, take my beliefs, or you're trying to take my faith, or you're trying to take my convictions. Well, my ego, and there's a lot of that personal attachment to things, but not so much to the people that are original and genuine and creative and critical thinkers, thought-provoking thinkers. Okay, I have that kind. I have that reach, and I'm so thankful to that. Okay, because we all have our place somewhere with people. We all have people that are resonating with each other, sometimes unknowingly. All right, our kids are the ones that are paying attention to a lot of things that is happening, and I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot of devastation going forward. Okay, so since we're going forward, that means what? There's devastation ahead. There's devastation ahead. And it's all due to cause and effect. It has nothing to do otherwise. There's no supernatural about it. It's about cause and effect, reaping what you've sown. Okay, get that light out of my eye. All right, let's see. Yeah, that's better, I guess. Dealing with all these equipment, this technology in this small space, it's a challenge. But hey, I like challenges actually, and as long as it's not disgusting. Let me make sure everything looks good there. I know my face, because I'm not gonna re-record it, so why not, right? Make sure I'm fresh and clean. Everything looks good. So, so what I want to talk about is just something to contemplate and cultivate and think about real quick as you're going through your day. And when you, because like I said, I think the majority of people are really not thinking per se. We because we weren't indoctrinated to do so. Okay, so you're gonna feel crazy when you start thinking. All right, and I said that almost a couple of years ago. Get over worrying about whether people think you're crazy or not, because they will. That's the whole idea, to discourage you and keep you from going into certain topics and conversations and discussions. So you're gonna, so feeling crazy it just comes with the territory, and you need to allow yourself in a gentle and a gentle way to just accept that, but keep moving. Okay, I'd rather be crazy than delusional, and there's a difference. Trust me. Okay, so it's obvious that we were not educated to think, and the whole idea was to suppress our thinking, to suppress our critical thinking, and critical thinking is almost a buzzword now. It really has lost its value because everybody's running around saying, "Oh yeah, I'm a critical thinker." I mean, it's so comical. I hear people, "Oh yes, I talk about how critical they're thinking." What the hell does that even mean? Let's look that up before we go here. Saying they're critical thinkers. What the hell does that mean? Okay, because everything's a lot of people is just piling on stuff, and either it makes sense or it doesn't. It is not that difficult, but there are those out there whose intention is to make things difficult and appear to be better than you in their thinking, which they are actually not thinking, because thinking is simple. It's not complicated. If someone's actually thinking, you would understand them. And even though I stutter sometimes, I mispronounce words, I have been consistent throughout all of this since 2022. I've been consistent in what I'm saying, and I've been repeating a lot, but doing the best I can to give you bits and pieces, so we're building, and I know we're building. I know I'm building an audience that's silent. I have a silent revolution of an audience that support me and care about me too, and I love it. I can sense and receive it. Okay, universal love, because that's what it's about. A lot of us that are coming forward, we're diving into subjects that have been taken away from us for thousands of years, for millions of years, of information that belongs to us. It's our birthright to have this type of information that I'm attempting to disseminate and others. Okay, it's about the consciousness. Okay, it's not so much about my materialness. It's about your consciousness, evolution of your consciousness. That's what it's about, and that's been held back, like I said, for thousands, millions of years, because once someone understands that, that's when they know they have the power. Okay, and so that's why only a certain amount of people are going to resonate with me, because we all do resonate in certain circles of people. Okay, I have my group of people resonating with me. Others do, but we're still collective. We're still a collective. Just imagine having a large balloon, but inside of it are smaller balloons. That's the concept I'm attempting to put out there. So it says critical thinking. Critical thinking is the analysis of available facts, evidence, observations, and arguments in order to form a judgment by the application of rational, skeptical, unbiased. Okay, now that sounds like a bunch of that may be true, but what's the results of that? Are scientists actually doing that? Available facts and evidence and observations and arguments in order to form a judgment by the application of rational, skeptical, and unbiased analysis and evaluation. Some scientists may be, but what's the results of all of that? The results will speak for themselves, as I said. So don't be surprised, and I just want to keep everyone aware of that you're going to have a lot of people coming forward rambling about how they know what success means and what success isn't, and all of it is a lot of just ego-based. It's ego-based thinking. It's not critical thinking. It's ego-based thinking. People are projecting their ego on you when they're attempting to give you information about how to be successful, how to be a human being, who's the more superior human being, who has the more superior, who are masters in this and masters in that. You're going to have a lot of that garbage coming through. And a lot of people that follow me know that, where you're going to have people who are going to be clawing at you to get your attention, and clawing over people, dead bodies, literally, figuratively, and metaphorically, just to get your attention, to get in front of you, and try to indoctrinate you more and tell you, no, we're the masters here. We're the superior race here. We're the superior human beings here. This or that or the other. Okay, you're going to have a lot of that coming forward, because a lot of people are fighting for their lives, literally, figuratively, and metaphorically. Okay, fighting for their lives. So that's how. So as a person of the amount of work I've done to just understand. See, if I can understand me, I can understand you, because that's where it starts. It starts within me. That's why I can resonate with people from all walks of life. Okay, from all walks of educational backgrounds, from all walks of cultures. Okay, because I intentionally made an effort to do so. I made an effort to understand people. And even though I may not understand certain languages, there is an innate ability, if you're willing to understand people, whether you can understand their language or not. Okay, and in the field I was in, first responder, I had to develop that, to know, and I can tell by their eyes when someone's it's in a crisis. That's how I learned to develop myself. Some people can learn to do it by how the person is speaking, okay? And some can do it by picking up the feelings. You can tell when someone's in distress, right? By how they're behaving and acting. I can tell by their eyes. I can tell now by sound, because I developed all that, and how I sense and receive people. That's skills and abilities that's built up over decades. Okay, not over, and it's developed, and it starts in the playground. Literally, figuratively, metaphorically. It starts in your adolescence. It starts in your puberty as a young child, when you're out and about, like I said, in the playgrounds or at community parks, when you are participating in the community activities in your neighborhood, in your community, in your culture. Okay? So I said plenty of things about the culture and how crucial it is to have a culture, have a community where you can develop yourself. And then once you come out of it, you can help others in whatever walks of life they're in. That's what we're about. Okay, it's not stepping all over each other and rambling about how knowledgeable you are. And most of them, like I said, can barely wipe their ass properly. And I mean that literally too, not only figuratively and metaphorically. All right. So you're gonna have a lot of people coming forward, and just attempting to get in front of you with a lot of garbage about their knowledge and how special they think they are, and how and a lot of them come from backgrounds where they were completely ignored by their family, more so. Some of them were the only child, or maybe two. It may have been two of them. In most cases, it's two of them, and one is, and it's always a favoritism with the some parents when they do that, and they think that they're creating an edge, creating a certain type of personality that if you pin them, if you have them competing against each other, you're bringing out the best in them. No, that's abusive. Okay, that's abuse, by the way. Competing against your own siblings, competing against your family, competing and anything goes, no rules and regulations, no restraints. Okay, as children, you need restraints. You need to be disciplined. You need to understand virtues, what's values, morals, ethics. How to care for people. Whether you're masculine or feminine, and a lot of people are all upset about that. Well, that's going to be going on for forever until we manage our population growth. All of our sexualities are going to be in question. Trust me. From this day forward. Okay. Again, there are biological women, biological men. Yes, that's the natural course of things, right? But then, as our population has increased, the degeneracy and the deviancy has increased as well, with scientists, hiding in labs, interfering with the production of women, interfering with the production of men as well. There's a lot of things that a lot of us need to consider before we start picking sides. You need to know the whole picture, and then bring it down to a size of what you can understand. Cause and effect is the easiest way to do it. And when you are incorporating cause and effect in your life, you are thinking, because you look for factors to consider, and how this or how that happened. I'm gonna go into more of that kind of stuff, but people that have been following me and lovingly supporting me, I send universal love to everyone all over the stars and moon and mountains, and I send special love to those that are special to me, and they know who they are. But there's a lot of things that we just don't know, and be joyous. Have some joy about that, because then you won't feel so crazy. Then that might snap you out of the trance and the indoctrination and the programming. Wait a second here. And there's a group of us, and I won't say much about, I won't identify us. I identified us back in 2022. And I said this group of people, when we do better, the whole world does better. When we're happy, the whole world is happy. Okay, and when we do things, we do it not for only ourselves, we do it for the whole world. Like I told you, I grew up in a community where my mother would feed anybody. Okay, my mother, I used to have these weekend they were weekend parties, and she would invite the whole community if she could. But you know, there had to be some restraint, of course. So that's the concept I'm putting out. There's a group of us, females, all right, biological females. Let's just put it out there, who love ourselves, even though we all have work to do. We have a certain amount of confidence, and we know what to do. Yes, a lot of us have been abused. A lot of us have been this and that and the other, but we persevere. We're resilient, and we keep moving forward regardless. You know, it's getting a lot more difficult sometimes during these times right now to hold on to certain things because of the saturation of indoctrination, the saturation of the social media, and a lot of us just were not prepared for what artificial intelligence is doing as well. So we have a lot on our plate. And unfortunately, a lot of people are going to succumb to a lot of the damage that has been done. You know, damage has been done. A lot of people are going to succumb to that, unfortunately. But there's no other way. I told you about the Great Escape, the Exodus. Where's everybody going? This planet is massively, massively, massively overpopulated with people, equipment, and toys. Okay, so the Great Escape to where? Ask that question. This planet can only hold under 1 billion, and we're close to 10 billion. And not like I said, not to mention the equipment and the toys. Okay, so I know a lot of people know this, and they know the dangers of talking about it. So they have to be creative. And that's all I'm asking for, the creatives that know what to do. Just be creative. Figure it out. And I know you can. We've been here before. We've done this before. And that brings me to this. I told you about cause and effect, and then people reaping what they've sown. Okay. And I told you in most cases, the individual will reap what they've sown before they die. Okay. That's a possibility as well. Everything, just consider things. Just consider the possibilities. So in other words, you reap what you've sown. Like for me, I reap what I've sown during my lifetime, and however long I live. If I've, whatever I put out is coming back to me. It's a boomerang. It's heading back. The amount of effort I put into putting it out is going to come back with either in a stronger matter, So if I'm putting out negativity, positivity, neutral, being neutral, those are the effects that I will experience. In other words, you're going to throw yourself into certain experiences to deal with it, to resolve it. All right. Let's take this in another direction. All right. So cause and effect. All right. That relates to the whole planet, the whole structure, the whole foundation of the planet. It's a cause and effect. Cause and effect. All right. We understand that. Or we ought to. And I told you in most cases the damage has been done, because for hundreds of years, thousands of years, millions of years, that simple, let's call it a formula, has been ignored. People thought, I can do whatever I want. And usually they were doing that in a hidden fashion. That's why there's a lot of hidden hands. Not so much, in the pyramids over the course of time. All right, I talked about that. So let's consider something for a moment here. Now, if there's a cause and effect for me during my lifetime, and I reap what I'm sown during my lifetime, okay. And what I do is I pass the baton on to my future personality. Okay, because that's what we do. I told you, imagine having four people. Got little bugs flying around in here. So there's 4 people, all right? And I told you, consider it like a race. You could consider it like a race. When one person runs a leg, what do? They pass the baton to someone else completely different from them. I'm passing that baton to someone else. They run a race. They pass the baton to the next person. That's what it means to be reborn or rebirth, or some people know it as reincarnation. That's what we're doing. Okay? We're passing the baton. All right? I've said enough about that. Now, consider something for a moment here. I, as an individual, am responsible for my behaviors and actions, right? And I also bear responsibility for what happens when I pass the baton. Okay? If I'm passing the baton to somebody else, my actions and behavior is going to affect them. Even though they're brand new people. I mean, even that's a different person. My behaviors and actions are going to still affect them. And as it goes on. Okay, that's we have had millions of years of this. Passing batons. However, keep in mind, what I do now will forever affect the future personalities, even though they're different people, and they will be. But my behaviors and actions, whether positive or negative or neutral, hopefully, and that's where you want to flow through, is the neutrality of it all. Be neutral. But some of us believe, and that's where we run into problems, that what I say or do doesn't matter to my future personalities. Well, I'm attempting, it's in bits and pieces without going too far, attempting to snap you out of that, because that is not true at all. Not true at all. Everything that I do is forever stored in what I call a storage bank, and we all have it. It takes on everything that I do. Everything I do, how I bat my eyes, how I lick my lips, how I move around, all of that is stored forever within our storage bank that we all have. Okay? There's a storage bank, there's a planetary bank, and there's a cosmic bank. Nothing is lost. Okay, everything, every movement, everything is captured. And the reason for that is when in the future, if we need to do some time traveling, some people will. I know a lot of people are fascinated with that. Yeah, some of us will be able to do that. That's in the distant future. Again, what I want you to focus on is how you're behaving now and how you are conjuring up what can affect your future personalities. Okay? In other words, if you make the world a peaceful place to live, your future personalities will have a peaceful place to live. But if you have destroyed the planet, as we have, guess what's going to happen to the future? Okay, now, a lot of people are under this illusion that I don't care about the future. I won't be here. Again, that's where you are being misinformed about your lineage, because you are a part of all of it. You understand me? Your lineage, your future personalities, the people the term people use about being reincarnated, reborn, rebirth, it's a part of you. You are part of that lineage. So you individually reap what you've sown, but your future personalities will too. In other words, your behaviors and actions affect them. And it can cause and you, okay, you are going to know that. Okay. Nothing's lost. And when I say you're going to know that, just like I'm sitting here and talking to you and know things, it's the same concept. It's that knowing. It's a knowing. And I'll come back and talk about that a little bit more. When you're in a lineage, as we all are, there's a knowing. Okay? So everything you do affects that. So, in other words, you can't fool your consciousness. You can't keep pleading ignorance, which a lot of people will do, unfortunately. And you cannot keep believing that your behaviors and actions does not affect the future. The future you. The future I. But don't get caught up in that. Just think about that figuratively and metaphorically. It's a future, fresh and clean, brand new. It's a brand new person, a brand new everything. But that person is you in a different form, okay? Don't get caught up in all of that. In other words, like I said, it's a different person of you, a different person of you, if that makes sense. But again, when you're passing the baton, they may not look like you. They may be a different shades of color. Okay, so I'll just introduce that right now. I won't say much, but what you do, that's why it's so important to know what you're thinking about, because as you are allowing your thinking to go on autopilot and not controlling it and managing it and being honest about it and like I said, reducing so much contradiction, you're preparing a future for your future you or future self, whatever you want to say. I don't want you to get caught up in that you are going to know what you've done, whether it's from your past yous or your future yous. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I think if people would have known that, they would have been so careful about how they would have been acting and behaving, and they would have made sure that that they were walking the correct paths in the right alignment of what. And some people say predestined. Predestined can be used, but that again we become so extreme, because yes, we do have a predestination, I sense, but the wording may be a little bit it's and none of this is religious. I want to make that very clear and effective. There's no religious connotations about what I just said. This is going to be a long video, but that's fine. There's no religious connotations about what I just said. My information is going to resonate with those that need to hear it, and that's irrelevant, actually. Your sounds and tones will resonate where they need to resonate. This is not the first rodeo for none of us. Okay, we've been in this for millions of years. A lot of people, thousands or millions of years, a lot of people are finally snapping out of it and realizing where we're headed, and it's not good. Okay? So, predestined. Yeah, a lot of this is religious connotations, and I don't want to be too concerned about it. But just be creative about that. Okay, just take out the beliefs, take out the convictions and faith, and see how you can see predestined raw. Look at it in a raw fashion without all these other filters. Like we put on, when people put pictures on Facebook or on the social media platform. I said it makes no sense to have yourself with this clear, beautiful complexion, some of you, which I enjoy looking at beauty. But then if I see you in person, you got craters all over your face. You look like the moon in your face. That's, I'm just having fun. So, just be raw. That's my point. So I sense that there is a predestination of where you ought to be aligning up to, and how you ought to be taking a journey or a path to, with deviations. Like I said, just imagine being in the middle of 1 million people and you need to get somewhere. You have no cell phone, you have nothing, you're trying to meet up with somebody. That kind of navigation through life. It can be a struggle. It's difficult. So what I want to leave you with is this, and then I'll go back into a lot of other stuff later. You will be you now and forever, but your form will change. Okay? We're material now, but at some point we all will be, pure creational energy. Okay, so let's start again. We all are essentially energy. Everything's energy. Okay, not just me. Everything that's in my viewing area is energy. Okay, but what comes out of that is me. Okay, and eventually, once me do what I'm supposed to do as me in this materialism, I return back to energy. Okay, so I am me for a reason. Okay, because there's a grand destination that I am being allowed. Okay, keep that in mind. To be me is a privilege, and I'm being allowed with free will to make it to a certain point in my life. And that's what happens with all of us. Okay, not just me, not just my lineage of new, fresh, and it's like having a fresh and clean opportunity to live in a physical form. That's a privilege. That's the privilege right there. And that's the privilege a lot of people want to hide from you. Because if you knew that, you would know immediately where we're headed. And you would have, a lot of people say, well, gosh, if I can just change the hand of time. Well, that has been given, that opportunity has been given to us for thousands of years, millions of years, to snap out of it. But a lot of people have refused to do that, and a lot of people have interfered with us, as a collective to do so. So it's a pretty picture for those of us that just keep moving on your aligned path. It's a pretty picture. It may not be the best circumstances sometimes. You may not, but there are billions of people that are still in a deep sleep almost, and they have no idea where they're headed. And where they're headed is not good. And keep in mind, too, when you passing the baton over to your future personalities, some of you are going to wake up one day and be in a certain situation that may have resulted from the behaviors and actions of the past. Okay, and that includes a collective of people, not just necessarily what you've done, but what a collective of people have done. Okay, one person cannot destroy a planet, but one person can elevate it. One person can, because of the might of their thoughts, can strike certain other personalities and certain other thoughts of people to, like I said, it starts out as a little rock. You are that little rock. Just imagine that. And then as you're going down the hill, you're collecting a whole lot of other material and people and other rocks, and you're building and you're building and you're building. Okay, that's our population. Just kind of look at it in a big picture way. I'm gonna repeat a lot of things, but I want to just do it in simple, because it is simple. But we have to, if we choose to, free will, we have to unbury ourselves. Take off some of these rocks of irrelevancy that's burying us and burying us. A lot of people are going to succumb to it. I told you about Atlantis and Mu. Okay, we know about Rome. We know about that planet that destroyed itself, Malona. We know about other planets that have destroyed themselves. But we won't go into too much of that. And the people and the personalities that were on on Malona, are here on Earth, and they're heading into the same direction again. They don't know it. Okay, they're going to get to a point to where they will cause destruction, and where they are going to be a part of a natural disaster again, if they don't snap out of it. It may not be planetary wise, Earth wise, but they'll be in a similar destruction if they don't snap out of it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start right there. Sometimes you got to take it there, the conversation there. So a lot of people are ready for this, because a lot of people, like I said, have been questioning their reality since they were young children. I can imagine, and that's usually where it starts. That's where it started for me. It's like something just doesn't add up here. What my mom was saying, what my dad would say. Teachers, more so the teachers. And and I had to kind of separate myself from my siblings sometimes, when we're in our backyard, and just kind of contemplating, think. So just do the best you can. Be kind and gentle and friendly with yourself and others. Dismiss yourself from unsafe environments. Don't bother. Make sure you're safe, because you are responsible for your safety anyway. Enjoy the journey, enjoy the journey with others. Just enjoy where you're headed, because I said righteousness does matter. Being genuine and honest and original, creative especially. And if things don't make sense, they will. It's just, you have to unbury it, and take off some of this stuff that's smothering you, literally, figuratively, and metaphorically. The future, which means in 5 minutes or in 500 years, is going to reveal itself, okay? So I would resolve everything individually as much as I can, so that you don't have to experience certain things. Because one way or another, you need to resolve things. And I'm going to say this, and you just think about what I'm going to say right now. If you don't resolve things that you know you intentionally caused harm to somebody, or you're intentionally working behind the scenes with the hidden hands, you're going to be awakening to those experiences. And I mean, you're going to awaken up into those results via experiences in your life. Just think about that. So I'm going to go ahead and send peace and love right now. And I want to send peace and love all over the stars and moon and mountains. Universal love to everyone. Individual love to the ones that are special in my life. Hey, you are. My inspirations, my mule, my nieces and nephews. I love all of you, my young cousins, my young people. I love you all. And I'm doing this for you. Okay? So, peace and love, and trust me, I'll be back.